everyone. Welcome back. We are going to be talking about the FIFAe Rocket League World Cup. About a week ago from, when I'm releasing this, we got a lot of information regarding this event, which was a stark contrast to the no information that we had regarding this event. So as of now, we know that it's going to be running from December 5th through 8th. That's a Thursday through a Sunday. We're going to have, I believe it's going to be 2 days of group stage and then 2 days of playoffs. It will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Just, I'm guessing, kind of same place. I mean, I know it's the same city that Gamers 8 and RLEsports World Cup has been in. Wouldn't surprise me if it's the same venue, but to be honest, I don't know. I'm in America, so these things, the exact location of this land hardly affects me if I'm sitting here in the Midwest. So, in terms of this event, I mentioned we have the group stage, we have the playoffs. I'll cover the playoffs pretty quickly because the playoffs are very straightforward. Single elimination, best of 7. You're going to have a quarterfinals, a semifinals, and a finals. Super usual, super straightforward, nothing too fancy about it. Where things get interesting is the group stage for this tournament. FIFA and doing a Rocket League World Cup, they want to make this tournament as close to football or soccer, depending on where you're from, as they really can. Obviously, it's done in Rocket League. You can't have like 2 45-minute halves in Rocket League because that'd be ridiculous. But they wanted to create a format that really modeled what we see in the football or soccer world. And so to do that, we drew 2 different groups. We're going to have a group stage and a playoffs. That's pretty standard for both Rocket League and soccer. But the 2 groups were decided by a random draw. And this is one of the draws where you literally have 16 balls in a bowl, swirl them around, pick up one, and it's like, okay, here's the team. So the seeding for how these groups worked was non-existent. Every single team had the same, was drawn from the same pool. There weren't separate pools for who, the organizers thought were going to be a better team. And so we end up with these 2 groups. Now, Group A has 2 teams that I would consider favorites in the tournament or could have a chance of actually going on and win the thing, and a pretty solid balance between the rest of the 6 teams. Group B has 4 teams that I would say are pretty much favorites to contend to win the tournament, and 4 teams that are very much not, no offense to them. So if we look at Group A, I've got 6 teams total that I think could actually, there's 6 super threatening teams. The 2 in Group A are England and Saudi Arabia. Other than that, you've got some solid squads. You got Australia with the former power squad replacing Banana Head with Gus. You've got Germany, Belgium. Belgium I'm kind of excited for with Atau, Astral, and Compact. Compact was a regular in the EU RLCS last season, so he's been around, but obviously you guys probably know the names Atau and Astral a little bit more than him. We got South Africa with the entire Limitless roster, Netherlands, Spain. Spain's actually a filthy squad as well. That is the same squad that showed up for Koi in the KCX event, and they played against the new Carmine Corps squad and actually took them to Game 7. So not a team to be slept on either. But you can kind of see how that's a much more balanced group than what I'm about to talk about in Group B, because Group B has 4 teams that I think could go on and challenge or either win the tournament, that being the United States, France, Morocco, and Brazil. 4 very strong squads. You've got United States is Daniel Atomic and First Killer. Only reason that's not beast mode is because he's building a house. I am not kidding. They picked up First Killer in his place. And then you've got France, which is the super team. Not like the Vitality super team. Sorry, Exotic. But the franchise players super team. Zen, Vatira, Monkey Moon. It's who you'd expect. And Ferris coaching, of course. Morocco, that one's pretty straightforward as well. And then Brazil is the entire Furia squad, which is, again, I think the right choice. That being said, that one wasn't a choice. The stars next to these teams' names, if they have a star, that means they went through some sort of qualifier to make it here. Any team without a star means that they were just straight up invited. So England, a manager said, okay, Rise, Joyo, Archie, you guys are on the squad. United States, same there. Brazil, you had an entire event where the Furia squad had to beat out, a new Ninjas in Pajamas squad, the Loud squad, and basically win their way to represent Brazil at this stage. So, but those are the 4 favorites from Group B. The 4 teams that are going to have a tough time in Group B are Argentina, which you'll probably recognize the name AJG from his time on Complexity. Unbroken and Misery are pretty solid, normally making every single event down in South America players. You've got Portugal, which if there's one player from Portugal that a lot of people would recognize, it's a Chronic, and he is not in this tournament. So due respect to those players, because I'm sure, I mean, they went through a qualifier to make it here. They're definitely better at the game than I am, but I don't know any of their names. So I'm not really expecting much. Same with Turkey. They were all invited, though. There's been a lot of conversation on why Canada hasn't been invited to this event, and I think that's completely valid, especially when you have Portugal and Turkey, or Turkey, sorry. I know they're trying to actually change that pronunciation. But when you have, actually, I do recognize the name Laurely, but when you have those two countries and not Canada, and granted, this is reportedly Canada's fault for not, the federation not reaching out because it is run through FIFA, etc. The politics of this are very confusing, to say the least. But yeah, in terms of actually talking about Group B, you also got Chile, which is names that you might all recognize. Raisbull from his time on Complexity. He's actually still on Complexity. Davitrox was a tiebreaker away from making the Winter Major in San Diego in the 2023 season. He was on that Exceed squad that surprisingly made 2 finals and then ended up losing to Crew in that tiebreaker. And then Pan hit a Psycho and was a conversation piece back when everyone was asking what the most mechanical shot of the season was during the first split. It was, Daniel's ridiculous goal, and then the Psycho that Pan hit was like one of the options on there as well. So when it comes to Group B, you can see how there's 4 pretty heavy favorites and then 4 teams that it's like, if any of you guys make it out, it's a massive upset. So Group A, it's a little more up in the air. I would probably predict, and I'll do predictions in another video, but just off the rip, I'd probably predict Spain and who? Maybe Australia. That might be a hot take, but I might have Australia. We'll have to see how Gus actually fits in this roster. I'm still confused as to why they're kicking Banana Head. If it was Banana Head, I don't think I would have hesitated, but we just don't know Gus on the international stage just yet. But yeah, those are your 2 groups. And to determine who gets out of the groups, this is where things get, again, very, very weird. We're trying to make it like soccer, so we're having the point scoring system be wins 3 points, a draw is 1 point, and a loss is 0 points. And right off the bat, it's like, okay, so how do you draw? Essentially, the series are going to be best of 2. So you're going to have, Belgium versus Germany, 2 games. If you go 2-0, that's a win, you get 3 points. If you go 1-1, that's a draw. Each team gets 1 point. You lose both, go 0-2, no points. Best of 2, very volatile. I am personally not a fan of the fact that it's a best of 2. I don't hate the idea of introducing draws, but having it be a best of 2 is super short. And not only that, in my opinion, it gets worse when you introduce the fact that it's a double round robin. This means I haven't done the math, and I probably should, but it would probably hurt my head as well. How many different series are we going to play through on December 5th and 6th? And when I say series, I know I just mean literally 10 minutes, 2 games of Rocket League. But we are going to have so many individual matches in this double round robin best of 2 system. I personally have no idea how they're going to broadcast all this. Like, this is so much happening at once. I can't imagine that they're going to be able to fit it all on a mainstream. I'm having trouble picturing how it would fit on 2 streams. Like, do you need 3, 4 streams to actually cover every single match? Or are we just not going to see everything? Like, we actually don't have that information just yet. So hopefully keep an eye out for that. Preferably before the month of December rolls around. Who knows at this point? But yeah, a double round robin, best of 2. You win 3, or no. You win, you get 3 points. Draw 1, loss 0, top 4 advance. Personally, I would have much rather seen a single round robin with best of 4s. And I know that if it's like a 3-0, then you kind of play the 4th game for literally just tiebreakers and game differential comes up. But I think that's much better than double round robin best of 2. Double round robin best of 2 is just going to cause chaos, because then you're going to be switching, who's on stage at what time. It sounds like a logistical nightmare to me. And I will consider myself lucky if I'm able to follow along with the group stage. I'm going to try. Don't get me wrong. But right now it's looking pretty complicated. And I can't imagine what Cody has gone through trying to make this spreadsheet time and time again as we've tried to figure out what this format is. Because I'm sure he did not have a template for double round robin best of 2 just ready to go. He's got one out now. So if you do want to do predictions, I believe that does exist. Check him out on Twitter, Cody VRL. But yeah, that's a summary of what we're going to be seeing. I don't know if it's official that it's a group stage on December 5th and 6th, and then the playoffs on the 7th and 8th. I don't know if that exact schedule has been released or not. It would not surprise me to see that, considering that Rocket League does have a habit of, not, at least at this point, they don't want to put 7 best of 7s on the same day. And so you'll have the quarterfinals on the 7th with the semifinals and finals on the 8th, which naturally would leave all the group stage games to December 5th and 6th. So maybe it's just each day is one version of the round robin and you just kind of speed run through. But yeah, that's it. That's the format. So hopefully this makes a little bit more sense now. If it doesn't, I apologize. I did my best. I'll try to answer some questions in the comments, but I can guarantee you I don't have all the answers just yet. I'll be doing predictions at some point, probably the week of, and I'll catch you guys next time.